So the topic I decided to choose was hazard pay because with the COVID pandemic, we have seen and heard of some employees who are getting hazard pay for putting their health at risk, but we have also heard of people who are getting little to no hazard pay at all. So I found the definition of hazard pay on the US Department of Labor, and it states that hazard pay means additional pay for performing hazardous duties or work involving physical hardship. Work duty that causes extreme physical discomfort and distress, which is not adequately alleviated by protective devices, is deemed to impose a physical hardship except for the fact that the Fair Labor Standards Act does not address the subject of hazard pay, except to require that it be included as a part of a federal employee's regular rate of pay in computing the employee's overtime pay. So it's kind of a gray area in some aspects there, but during this pandemic, we've seen or have heard of people getting hazard pay, including doctors, grocery store workers, or honestly, really depending on where people work, anyone could be getting it. I work at Starbucks in Dinkytown, and when COVID finally hit the US and spring break was extended and everything shut down, our store shut down for 2 months. And being that we weren't working, Starbucks actually gave us catastrophe pay, which they calculated by the number of hours we were working previous to the shutdown. But if some stores stayed open and you worked, you would get $3 more an hour for every shift up until May. But ever since May, there's been no extra money into the paychecks or anything like that. I know that Target has upped their minimum wage from $13 to $15. So they added the two extra dollars as a way to do hazard pay. And they ended up making it permanent. And some people who will receive that $2 extra permanently will be full-time hourly workers as well as part-time workers at stores, distribution centers, and headquarters. Now, although some people are getting hazard pay, there are some people who are not as lucky. I read an article about California where most people who are considered essential workers, like firefighters, doctors, people in like the healthcare field, like they aren't getting any extra pay. One woman who was interviewed, she works in a dental office, and she said that they were continually seeing patients even with a shelter in place order that was put. Another man said that he worked for a grocery store and their hazard pay was only $2, yet they were seeing over 800 people in a day. Like, granted, people are wearing masks, but that's still a lot of people, and you have no idea who they have been in contact with. So I have a graph of hazard pay for some workers. So we have three businesses. We have Walmart, Kroger, and Amazon. So we can see the number of cases go up, and here is where people stopped getting hazard pay for Kroger. So that was probably in about May. Amazon stopped giving hazard pay in about June, and Walmart stopped in July. So these people who have been hard at work have now stopped getting any type of extra money for putting their health at risk and helping others. So a couple of discussion questions that I have are, do you think everyone working should get hazard pay? Why or why not? And if you don't think that everyone should, then who do you think is qualified to get that? Also, the pictures on the left, we can see the top one says mandatory masks mean your job is hazardous. You should be getting hazard pay. And the bottom one says Amazon has made $74 billion during COVID while we risk our lives. If we are essential, treat us as such. Thank you.